Hey everyone, welcome back to Brown Coat Nerd. My lighting is horrible. Good lord. Alright guys, still trying to get all the kinks worked out in the new filming area, so I've not found my tripod, so we're doing this handheld. And much like the last video, this is going to be kind of a faux unboxing on one of the Romanian TT-33 Tokarevs from Classic Firearms. This particular one is actually not mine. Family member got it. And I was helping them, clean it up and everything. And I figured I'd just kind of give you guys a quick look at these in case you wanted to get one, because the price is pretty good. I think it's like $230, I believe, for these, just over 200 bucks. This is not a hand select. I recommended they don't waste their money on that. As you know, I haven't had the best experience with hand select with Classic Firearms. Although I still will buy from them because I am a surplus slut. So it looks like this one has been re-arsenaled. It's got this kind of parkerized finish on it. It looks like there was at one point a little bit of pitting on there that I think has just been kind of parked over. And I believe it was Brown Nails that had a video on these. These are imported by, I don't know if it's M plus M, M and M, how you would pronounce that. But they got a bunch of them from M and M as well. And what they were saying is that these were re-arsenaled in Romania. And once they were, refinished and everything, they were never used again. And they were sold off to the U.S. market. Had that stupid import safety added. You guys know I hate those things. This is the same style of safety that was on my Polish Tokarev. Unfortunately, I do not have that to show you as a comparison because I actually sold it. But it went to a good home. A buddy of mine that's wanting to start collecting surplus. So I did notice that on this one, the grip is not cut into, like on my Polish Tokarev that had the safety installed there. And then the little hole is also not color filled on my Polish one. And a lot of these you'll see it's actually color filled with red paint. That's no biggie. For the family member that got this, I'll explain why they ended up going with this in the end, if I remember. I probably will touch that up with some paint. As you can see, this one was made in 1953. And this is all matching. Frame, barrel, and slide are all matching serial numbers. And when we got this, it was not caked in grease, but just a whole lot of oil. And I've cleaned that off pretty well. I actually sprayed it down, kind of coated it with some CLP last night, just let it sit all day, and I just wiped it down. So any bits of oil you see on there is probably just the CLP. But I mean, it's got an okay parkerized job on it. You can kind of see there where I think the metal underneath was probably not in the best of shape. Classic has these labeled as very good to excellent, which I don't know if that's what M plus M rated them as, or if that's what Classic rated them as. Now, if Classic rated them as that, I'm willing to forgive them because these were completely covered in oil. And in the oil, I mean, you really can't tell diddly squat. But you can really tell how that's a parkerized finish on the grip here. But I mean, looking at this now, it's in good shape, but it's, it's been refinished. It's parkerized rather than blued. You can tell it's had some pitting issues in the past. I don't think it's going to cause any issues with those now. And I was looking down the bore on this one. The rifling looks really good. There's like two dark spots, but I think that's just some like dried grease in there. I've ran into that before. But the rest of the bore looks nice and shiny. And the rifling is nice, sharp, and crisp. And I will say, and this has been safety check, guys. I'm doing it one-handed here, but hey, look, the import safety worked. I will say that the trigger on this feels pretty nice. It's nice and smooth. It doesn't really feel grimy at all. And I haven't found my Lyman trigger pull gauge, so I can't tell you exactly what the pull is on it. But I feel like it's definitely a lighter trigger than like my M57 or the Polish Tokarev that I did have. So I am looking a little bit forward to taking this out, shooting it with my family member. And you might be wondering why the family member got said Tokarev. Well, with everything going on, and despite years and years and years of me saying, you should have a gun just in case you don't want to get, your house broken into and then realize that you should have a gun, want to be proactive about it. But they finally decided to pull the trigger, so to say. And originally, what I was trying to get this family member, it's someone who had shot many, many, many years ago. So they're not very comfortable around firearms, at least right now. And I was wanting to get one of the Beretta 81s like I have. It's got a nice fat grip, 32 ACP, so it won't be too much kick. I know people will be like, oh, if it's for home defense, that's a horrible round. But at the same time, this person's a little recoil sensitive, or at least I would imagine so. I can't even tell which way is there. I think that's the right way up. But yeah, these are, I can't even read. I think it says TT-33 762. I don't know. M&M, Northridge, what is that? North Glen, Colorado. And that I'm reading off the box, not even off this import mark. Although I am very happy they put it on the bottom of the dust cover. Got away from the big billboard import marks like on my Polish Tokarev. Fortunately, this did not have that trigger style import safety like my Yugoslavian one did. Classic did have some Norinco Tokarevs that were, I think, like twice as much as these Romanian ones, or pretty close to it. And those had the trigger style safety. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any of the Romanian ones come in yet that have that. I have a feeling they will be, though, because it looks like they're all switching to that. I think it might even be cheaper for the importers to do it that way. There's less, stuff involved than drilling through and putting one of these safeties in. The other thing that sucks is these triggers are normally really easy to remove, but with that style safety in there, you can't pull it out. So, not that you need to, but they just suck. So anyway, so this family member finally decided, they've been going back and forth as to whether they're going to get a gun or not. And by the time they decided that, selections are pretty craptastic right now with everything going on in the world. They're also not wanting to spend a whole lot of money on one of these. And so I was like, hey, a little over $200. You can get something that will do the job, and kind of discuss to them about, getting a cheap brand new gun. But I mean, in this price point, you're looking at high points and SCCYs or skies or whatever you call them. And I'm sure I'll get people commenting on here saying, oh, I've got one, I've had a great experience. And I don't doubt that. And I know they have like a lifetime warranty, but if someone breaks into your house and something breaks, what good is that lifetime warranty going to do to you at that point? Whereas this, it's got no warranty, but it's proven. It's kind of like the AK of pistols. And they also weren't really positive if they wanted to keep the gun long term, or if this was just something that they would feel safer having now with everything being crazy. And it's kind of a comparison with buying a brand new car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it starts to depreciate in value, or buying an old classic that you're going to be able to sell it for what you bought it for, or maybe even more. And that's kind of how I feel about these surplus guns, especially lately. The prices have been going up quite a bit. I'm sure some of that's due to the whole panic buying that's going on. But even before, COVID hit and all that stuff, the price of surplus was just going up and up. I've got some guns that have like doubled in value since I bought them just a few years ago, which is kind of crazy. So that's why we went with the Tokarev. I know it's not the best choice at all. I really kind of hate that it's single action only. I would much prefer double action, single action, especially for someone that's not very, trained. Like I said, it's been years since she has shot a gun. Obviously, I will be going out with her several trips, shooting this so she can get comfortable with it. But for a little over $200, I don't think it's a horrible deal. Even, I'm even thinking about once things calm down, selection gets better, kind of trying to push her to upgrade, sell this, get something a little bit better down the road, not really lose too much, if any, money on that. So I just kind of want to do this real quick video. I'm probably not going to do an actual review on this one, guys. I've reviewed my Polish Tokarev. I also have a review on the Yugoslavian M57 Tokarev, which has some, kind of modifications to it. So I really don't feel like a review for this is needed. I just want to get this out there, so if you're on the fence about buying one of these from Classic Firearms, you can see firsthand what people are getting. Like I said, this is non-hand select, and these are pretty popular because actually at the FFL, you know, I went with her because she, you know, she never filled out any kind of paperwork for buying a gun. Wasn't sure what was going to, you know, she wasn't sure how that, she wasn't worried about getting denied, but she's just nervous because she's never done it before. But there's a guy right in front of us, and he was filling out the paperwork on one of these Romanian Tokarevs from Classic. So we thought that was kind of funny. We were talking a little bit. You know, it's not the best example of a Tokarev, but for a little over $200, you know, it's not bad. And like I said, the internals look really good. This trigger feels really nice. And racking the slide, it feels very smooth. You know, I'm sure it's a well-used, broken-in gun, but yeah, that's it. So I'm going to wrap up this video before my pizza gets delivered and little Boog starts going nuts at the door. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, the only disadvantages that I noticed, it looks like there was some minor pitting on here at some point. Maybe a little bit of surface rust on there too. I haven't really tried cleaning this too much, mostly because I still haven't found my cleaning kit, which is driving me nuts because I want to clean up that Carcano I got. But yeah, there she is, the Romanian Tokarevs, imported by M&M, M+M, whatever you want to call it, from Classic Firearms. Alright guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe and stay shiny.